Zen has one of the highest win rates in ranked against some of the best players that Rocket League has to offer. We're going to review his recent ranked games to learn exactly how he plays so you can play like Zen yourself. But before that, sponsor time. AOEA allows you to buy and sell Rocket League items at great prices. Whichever platform you're on, you can find that last item to finish off your preset. Use code VMN at checkout for a discount. And I'll leave the link to AOEA down in the description, so be sure to check that out. Alright, so starting the game off, we have Zen playing with Frosty, up against Toroko and Radodrop. All very high ranked players, so it should be an excellent game to watch, see how Zen actually wins his matchmaking. Starts off very strong with Frosty getting a lovely flip reset goal. A very strong start to the game. I'm recording this after Zen just won the major with Vitality, so definitely all eyes on Zen at the moment, looking out to be one of the best Rocket League players out there at the minute. And here we have Zen setting up what is a fantastic play. So let's take a look at this. This is what I like to call the Zen special. This is what makes him such a good player. After this one hit clear, what he does is he always thinks about after his first touch, how he's going to get a second touch, how he's going to get a third touch, and how he's going to get even more touches. You see after this read, he immediately goes up for the ball, and what's important here is this touch he's about to take. He always takes one touch either into the air, and it's normally the touch that he takes when the ball's already in the air, so this one, and he's going to touch this just not so hard that it goes away from his car towards the opponent and gives away possession, and not so light that it doesn't get enough force to actually continue his play down the field. So see here he hits it so he can follow and hold on to possession, and then he gets to make a shot afterwards. Very important. Okay, here we have him playing very aggressive, looking for a bit of a crazy play with Frosty there. Pretty unsuccessful, so just recovers, keeps himself in the play. Cuts in for a very aggressive 50. I would advise against that most of the time, and it does result in a goal, unfortunately. The reason this is very risky to do, let's just take another look. Obviously this is okay, as long as it doesn't commit horribly. The reason this is a dangerous turn by Zen is because his teammate does require a little bit more time to actually rotate back into a good position. And when he commits on this, even if he gets a good challenge here, Toroko is going to be ready to immediately take the ball from this challenge and then start an attack, which is going to be a 2v1, because Zen is going to need to actually recover after this play, as you can see. Then the 2v1 starts, and bang. There we go. So a bit of a misplay by Zen, but you know, we all make mistakes. Just goes to show that no matter how good you are, you can always make these kind of mistakes. Don't worry if you do make them, as long as you acknowledge them, that's the main thing. Okay, Zen's playing pretty passive at the moment. Playing that defensive shadowing, opting not to go aggressive. However, he does go very aggressive here. So he looks for the demo first on Toroko, as you'll see here. After this ball is hit towards him, he clears, looks for the demo, steals the boost, and then he actually hovers here. This is pretty interesting. He hovers here and waits to see if there's going to be an opportunity for Frosty to take a challenge and basically pass the ball to him aggressively. And then when he sees it's not there, he rotates back. Very nice patience by Zen and awareness. He knows that Toroko just committed, so the second man on Orange team is going to be hesitant to commit because his first man just committed and needs time to recover, much like the scenario we saw before. And he's going to assume that this player here is not going to commit onto Zen, because this would be a bad play for him. So he's going to take his time, let the ball bounce off the wall, actually set up what I like to call Zen's signature play, which is the controlled ground to air dribble. As you can see, he goes for the controlled dribble. Once again, I'll go back just to show you. He takes that first touch, let's come down, pops the ball up so we can follow. Always popping it for that second, third, fourth touch. He's never playing just a one hit or a two hit play. It's always, well, two hits he does do sometimes, but again, just rinse and repeat, the exact same thing. This is Zen's playstyle. Straight into a ground to air dribble, goes for the flip reset this time, gets a double, and puts it in the top right corner. Very nice. He always turns, and he always sets up these fantastic mounted air dribbles. I feel like... Okay, this is one of the few occasions where he actually takes a shot. Let's take a look. Now this is a pretty poor play for the most part. This again might just be a small mistake that he makes here. He does have a lot of space and time, because as you can see, Taroko is actually nowhere near challenge distance. It might have just been an attempt to quick reset. But as you see here, just from distance, there's very little chance that Taroko can actually beat Zen to this ball, because Zen is closer, has enough boost to close distance. So him jumping here is very dangerous because he's just going to pass the ball, then they're going to get a counter attack afterwards. So a bit of a poor play. But yeah, it's Zen, you know, he's allowed to make mistakes. They do get scored on as a result of that misplay. But since it is Zen, I'm sure he's going to score 100 more this game, so it doesn't really matter too much. Yeah, playing pretty defensive. Gonna go for the goal line save. Wait until that shot is predictable enough that you can save it. Hops to the backboard, immediately follows, goes for a musty and almost scores. Same thing as before. Possession is given away by a large touch. Zen is going to hit the ball, not with the aim of clearing or with the aim of booming the ball, but with the aim of going for a second, third and fourth touch. So he hits the ball on the backboard, jumps off, follows it for that second touch, gets his third touch, and there's the fourth touch. Perfect. Literal perfect control play. And that is the Zen special. We saw him doing this so many times in RLCS as well, especially in the grand finals. He scored so many goals just going for those controlled air dribbles, often up to the ceiling, which is probably going to be a bit of a meta shift, I think, in the coming months. Using the ceiling for more pinches, for more aggressive plays that are unpredictable. And here we have Zen making an exception play. So what that means is the default for most high rank players is to shadow. So right here, Taroko assumes that Zen is not going to challenge him on the goal line, but he's instead going to play aggressive and then turn and shadow. So Zen knows this, so instead of actually doing what Taroko expects, he's going to make an exception play to that default, and he's actually going to challenge him and catch him off guard, and bang, he gets a free goal because of it. Definitely always good to mix in exceptions into your playstyle once you've learned the default, but it's very important that you learn the default first. Too many people default to instant challenges, and I'm going to stop what I'm saying right now because Zen is going for, yet again, another one of his control plays. But again, instead of shooting, instead of any kind of play that would lose him control, you see he first steals the boost, so again limiting his opponent's resources to defend, and then he comes back, pops the ball up, that single touch I've been talking about, not too hard, not too light, just perfect up into the air so he can hold on to possession, and then you can decide whatever the hell you want to do. And right here Zen decides to go for a flip reset, gets a touch over his first challenger, takes a 50 with the second, and then bumps the second man by staying underneath his car. Unfortunately doesn't get a goal, but that was an incredible attack. And a very nice chance on the pre-flip there. Goes for a strong 50. It's going to get aggressive here. Goes for a non-committal challenge, which makes that okay. Going to have to make a dodgy save here on the goal line. Never mind, very, very good non-committal challenge again. As you can see, the only times he actually does clear the ball is when he's getting that second touch clear. And the reason second touch clears are so good, so when you go to the wall like this, and then you get that second touch, which pings it towards the enemy net, the only reason this is good is because it forces your opponents to defensively posture. That means you can start getting aggressive, look for demos, look for boost steals like Zen just did, and quite often they're going to pass back to you and give you possession back. However, this time it turned into a good attack for the opponents, makes it less of a good play, but often it can lead to good results, so not the worst thing to boom it like that if you're going to boom it. Oof, very aggressive play here. Very aggressive. I would normally say this is a bad play to do. This is a great turn. He aggressively shadowed up pretty far, forced Rado to think that he was going to challenge, and then he commits. And this is probably exclusively a Zen play because he actually manages to get the bump on his opponent to turn himself around and get that recovery. So exceptional recovery by him. However, it does result in a goal, as you would expect from that. Wasn't the best turn by Zen, should definitely have opted to shadow there. And it looks like he is taking a small tea break. He's caught AFK. And he's back. There we go. Okay, so Frosty's got an attack. He's cutting in. Doesn't commit. You'll see he's staying very grounded, which is very important. Reads the bounce here. Excellent play. Doesn't panic. Almost got the wall dash. I believe that's what I was going for there. Would have allowed him to get a strong, fast attack. And here we go. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 touches. Now, I see this problem all the time at all ranks. People just take the possession they have and they boom the ball, or they give it away, or they don't really actually do much with their possession. And this is what you need to start doing. You need to start going for these plays where you stay on top of the ball, you stay close to it, and you actually threaten with your possession. Really perfect play by Zen. Really, I always preach controlled plays are the new meta, and if you don't know how to play controlled plays, you need to learn them. Because if you're watching this the same way I'm watching it, it's literally all Zen is doing. He's constantly going for these controlled plays over and over again, and it's exactly what he did in RLCS as well. Very nice. Pressuring the opponents, getting that double touch off the wall again, as we talked about before. The only times he will clear the ball and actually push it too far away from him is when he's getting these double touches. This, sometimes he's going to get past his teammate, sometimes he won't, but it's still a good play regardless. And here he defensively postures, gets a nice save off the wall, gonna leave it for his teammate, intercepted. Once again, first touch, second touch, third touch, fourth touch on the wall. Great controlled play all the way to the opposing side. Okay, I like this play actually. He's trying to hold on to possession without committing, and doing a little single jump here. Just trying to bait the opponents to come in, and he is successful with that. As you can see, he does force the second man to commit, which will likely prove pretty positive in the next 10 or so seconds. However, it's overtime, so we'll get to see the outcome of that. He's following on kickoff. Nice save by Frosty. Actually playing very aggressive here. I kind of like this play. He's respecting his teammate right up until the end, until his teammate cannot take any more touches and he's there just to carry it on. So not really a bad teammate at all. Again, same controlled play on the backboard. Ben is so good at taking these plays onto his backboard, onto the ceiling, and just sticking to them. He's following very aggressively with his teammate. I think his teammate's putting him off a little bit here. He's not sure where he should be. Let's get a nice 50. Straight up on that ball. Going for that double. Unfortunately missed it this time. Going back into defense. Going aggressive. Then quite often takes these first man positions from his teammate if his teammate seems hesitant. As you can see, his teammate isn't going directly for the ball. So then just cuts in front of him and looks to apply that pressure immediately. And that way he's not really giving his opponents much space to make plays on the pitch. Very aggressive shadowing here, excellent. This is how you should shadow. You can see here. What Zen does is he pushes up in an arc that allows him to challenge if Taroko decides not to flick. And he's basically forcing Taroko to flick by posturing so aggressively. But when he comes up like this, that arc was a little deep. When he comes up like this, when Taroko, see how he's come up really close to Taroko. When Taroko comes here, he has to flick the ball because Zen is so close to him. From his POV, Zen could have challenged him when he was facing him. So very nice aggressive shadowing by Zen. And again, it's non-committal. He doesn't commit on these balls, he just threatens his presence. Unaggressive, not the best touch. Could be a goal for the opponents, but they do manage to make a save. Trying to get an aggressive challenge again. Zen is never scared to take those aggressive challenges against his opponent. Taking that single touch, looking for an opportunity to follow. Looks like he's going for a cycle, and he does get a good cycle, but not strong enough. Nice attempt though. Could be a controlled play. Yep. Straight up on the ball, single touch to the ceiling, flip reset. Looking for a bump. Almost has it. Very close. Really insane mechanical skill. However, it doesn't need to be this complicated. So if you're a lower rank, you don't need to do the flip resets, you don't need to do the ceiling pinch, you don't need any of that stuff. This is just because Zen is playing against very high rank players, so he needs to be more unpredictable. But if you are a lower rank, consider just learning how to ground to air dribble, and just try and carry the ball as far as you can by sticking to it. And it's still going to have a very similar impact against low rank players. Keep that in mind. Definitely start learning this if you haven't already. I would consider ground to air dribbles to be almost as fundamental as open net goal shots. Like, they're becoming a fundamental skill at this point. Very nice attempt on goal there by Frosty. Keeping aggression himself. Nice shadowing. Beautiful shadowing by Zen. He really has a knack for pushing the limits of his shadowing here. He gets very aggressive without committing. And this is what I always preach. See here, he turns directly in the Rada drop. And actually decides, he's decided already he's not going to commit. So he just turns, and then he turns back around. See? He just forces this guy to flick without committing himself. And this way he can just immediately rotate back, and they can steal possession on this corner. And it's just super effective because he's not committed. Gets possession, turns around, Zen's still grounded, so he can immediately pressure that second man. Really perfect play. Frosty's up, goes for flip reset. Almost gets a goal. Very close game in overtime. Goal line saved by Zen. Impressive. Going for the boost here, trying to reset. None of the boost is there though. He's just trying to grab some pads. Gonna have to defend from the wall. The opponent got faked out. Get the save here. Demo. Not enough boost for a controlled play, so he's gonna take a 50. Gonna immediately apply aggression here. Trying to touch it up and follow it. However, he is gonna get beat by Taroko. It's important to realise here that Zen does realise when he's getting beat, and he often, I've seen this in a couple of games I've watched of Zen, and he sees that he's been beat, he doesn't try and force it too much. See, he accepts as soon as he sees him, no more boost, he's coming straight down. He just accepts the fact that it's a dead challenge and he needs to recover as fast as possible and get back. And with that perfect demo, that should be a goal. Yeah, that's a goal. Something very important to consider if you are playing that first man, after you've committed here like Zen, something you can always do, and I would advise you to do this all the time, when the enemy are attacking, their second man is always going to be playing in this area here. This circle around midfield, as you see, Rado drop straight into this circle here, and if you've committed and your first man, you can always look for a demo on your way back. Just as Zen does, straight for the demo, gives his teammate an open mid. But yeah, really good play there by Zen, he's really a fantastic player. I hope to see more of him in the competitive scene, and yeah, I hope you learned something from this guys, and I shall see you in the next one. Take it easy.